Welcome back to the Ancestral Findings podcast. Tracing an immigrant ancestor requires more than simply finding a ship manifest or a naturalization certificate. People crossing borders often changed or anglicized their names, traveled with relatives, and may have filed citizenship papers in multiple courts. This section explains how to use U.S. federal records, port records, naturalization files, and modern research techniques to trace migrants from their country of origin to their new home and to verify their identities and relationships. The United States did not require passenger ships to file manifests until 1820, and recording standards gradually increased after that. Early manifests list only names and ages. Later lists add birthplaces, last residence, occupation, destination, and family members traveling together. Naturalization laws also changed over time. Throughout most of the 19th century, the process was decentralized, with immigrants filing declarations and petitions in any court of record, federal, state, or county. In 1906, Congress standardized the forms and required courts to submit duplicates to the new Bureau of Immigration and Naturalization. Understanding these legal frameworks helps researchers know where to look for records and what information to expect. Before searching passenger lists or naturalization documents, compile a detailed profile of the immigrant using U.S. sources. Name variations. Note all spellings and possible English equivalents. Immigrants often use different names or initials in censuses, deeds, and military records. Approximate birth, marriage, and death dates. Extract from census records, vital certificates, obituaries, and tombstones. Family relationships. Identify spouses, children, and siblings from censuses, church records, and probate files. Families often traveled and settled together. Residences and occupations. Document addresses and occupations from city directories, censuses, tax rolls, and land records. These details help distinguish individuals with common names. Religion and ethnicity, religious affiliation, or ethnic community may point to specific passenger lines or ports of entry. For example, Irish immigrants frequently entered the country through Canada before moving south, while many Italians sailed in via New York or New Orleans. Creating this profile anchors the search and ensures that potential matches in immigration records align with what is already known. The federal censuses of 1900 through 1950 record key immigration and naturalization data, year of immigration and years in the U.S., 1900-1930. These fields provide a time frame for searching passenger lists. Naturalization status, codes such as AL, alien, Pennsylvania, file declaration, and NA, naturalized, indicate where an immigrant was in the citizenship process. Citizenship of parents, 1930, which can reveal that a person derived citizenship through a parent's naturalization. Compile census entries for the immigrant and close relatives. Note discrepancies. People often under or overstate their years in the U.S. Cross-checking with later censuses, draft registrations, or city directories can clarify timelines. Beginning in 1820, U.S. law required passenger lists for arriving vessels. Key points: port of departure and arrival are critical for linking manifests to places of origin and subsequent residence. Family groups, spouses, children, siblings, and neighbors often traveled together. Identifying a single person on a manifest may be difficult, but recognizing clusters of names associated with the family helps confirm the correct record. Last residence versus birthplace. Many immigrants listed their last residence rather than their birthplace. Genealogists must consult additional records to pinpoint their town of origin. Name variants. Names may be recorded phonetically or truncated. Search using wildcards and multiple spellings. Major ports included New York, Castle Garden 1820-1892, and Ellis Island 1892-1954, Baltimore, Philadelphia, Boston, New Orleans, and San Francisco. Online databases. For example, ellisisland.org, Family Search, Ancestry, index many passenger lists, but microfilm and archival copies should be consulted for missing images or better scans. Many European immigrants traveled first to Canada to circumvent passenger restrictions or take advantage of lower fares, then crossed into the U.S. by land. Beginning in 1895, U.S. border officials recorded entries at St. Albans, Niagara Falls, and other ports of entry. These records include details similar to those on ship manifests. Mexican border crossing cards, 1903-1955, are especially detailed, listing physical description, occupation, and contacts in the U.S. Passenger and crew lists for aircraft from the late 1930s onward record air arrivals. Alien registration forms, 1940, and enemy alien files, World War II, provide information about residence, occupation, and family members. Non-immigrant visas issued at U.S. consulates abroad sometimes survive in the National Archives. The legal process to become a citizen typically comprises 3 documents: Declaration of Intention, first papers, filed after at least 2 years of residency. Provides name, age, physical description, occupation, birthplace, last foreign residence, port and date of arrival, and spouse's name. Petition for naturalization, second papers, filed at least 3 years after the declaration, restates personal details and lists witnesses, often neighbors or relatives, who attested to the applicant's character. Certificate of naturalization, granted once the petition was approved, contains minimal information, but it may include a certificate number, which is helpful for ordering the file. Key points when researching naturalization. Jurisdiction matters. Prior to 1906, any court of record could grant citizenship, including county, state, municipal, and federal courts. After 1906, the Bureau of Immigration and Naturalization, now USCIS, standardized procedures, but individuals could still file locally. Consequently, you must identify the courts near each residence where the immigrant lived. Women's citizenship. Until 1922, most married women automatically gained or lost U.S. citizenship based on their husband's status. A married woman's naturalization record may therefore not exist. Instead, search for her husband's file. After 1922, women naturalized independently. Derivative citizenship. Minor children under 21 automatically became citizens when their father naturalized. Look for evidence of a parent's naturalization rather than a separate file. Indexing challenges. Naturalization indexes may list names under initial letters only. Variations in spelling and translation mean you should search multiple name variants and time ranges. Common problems can arise when researching immigration and naturalization records, but there are effective ways to work through them. One problem is finding several immigrants with the same name. When this happens, don't rely on the name alone. Compare the person's age, occupation, destination, and arrival information from the passenger list with census records. Also, look at family members, neighbors, and witnesses listed on naturalization papers. These details can help you separate one person from another. Another common problem is finding different arrival dates in different records. Census records often give an arrival year, but immigrants may have guessed, rounded the year, or remembered it differently over time. Check every available census, then compare those dates with naturalization papers. Naturalization records often give a more exact arrival date. Sometimes passenger lists are missing or hard to find. In that case, search other ports. Your ancestor may have arrived through Canada, Mexico, or another U.S. port instead of the place you expected. You can also look for border crossing cards, passport applications, and alien registration records. You may also find that there's no naturalization record. This does not always mean the record is missing. The person may never have become a citizen. They may have received citizenship through a spouse or parent. The records may also have been lost. If the person remained an alien, look for special alien registration records, such as records created under the 1940 Alien Registration Act. Name changes can also cause confusion. Search for both the original name and its anglicized version. Look at records for siblings, relatives, and neighbors because their records may preserve an older spelling or form of the name. Also, check naturalization petitions, as some name changes were recorded when a person became a citizen. Immigration and naturalization records are essential for tracing ancestors who crossed borders and built new lives in the United States. These documents must be used in conjunction with U.S. censuses, vital records, land deeds, military files, and family sources to confirm identities and relationships. By building detailed profiles using cluster research and understanding the legal context of immigration and citizenship, genealogists can bridge continents and generations with confidence. If you've got a hard-to-find ancestor you're stuck on, I'd love to hear about it. Just head over to ancestralfindings.com and click on Contact to send me a message. While you're there, take advantage of our free weekly genealogy lookups, explore thousands of articles, and enjoy hundreds of podcast episodes. We've been helping family history researchers since 1995. And if you're looking for even more, check out our Genealogy Gold Q&A series over on Patreon. Thanks for listening, and as always, happy searching.